Have you ever wanted to live out your fantasies of going outside, getting lost in the woods, and jumping off a cliff into the endless abyss below?
Oh god, yes.
Then a short hike might be just the thing for you. A short hike is kind of what happens if you put Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild, and Celeste in a blender, and then tops it off with that sentimental pixie dust that makes Ghibli films do things to you. At its heart, a short hike is an exploration game. You play as Claire, a tastefully pixelated bird escaping the realities of modern life, which seems to be its own genre these days. She's extremely relatable too. When she arrives, she realizes she has no reception and has an instant fight-or-flight response. Except at the beginning of the game, there's not a whole lot of flight going on. And this is where the core gameplay loop kicks in. In your epic quest to find reception, you hike over the gorgeous mountains and meadows of Hawk Peak Provincial Park. At the beginning, you're not the best at it, but that's okay. Every now and then you'll find golden feathers, nifty performance-enhancing drugs that help you run faster, climb higher, and fly farther, opening up more and more of the park to you. It's actually not until you meet this weird dealer bird that you realize you're basically doping, but at that point you're okay with it anyway. Along the way you'll meet the locals who'll give you cute side quests or introduce you to game mechanics that Claire will pretend she's already aware of. You'll also discover and get way too hung up on the minigames.
I will defeat this one. Wait, how is she so fast? I don't know, I can do one more. What the hell? No, what? Wait, no, did she win? Oh my god, is she gonna get better every single time? Nah, we're doing this again. Oh, she's destroyed me. Fuck it, we're racing and I'm wearing the headband.
The game isn't an open world sandbox or even a social sim. It feels wrong to categorize it into either of those, even though it has elements of both. A short hike is its own compact, aesthetic whole. The different elements of the game are so densely knitted together that it's hard to imagine how it could have been any other way. This also applies to how the gameplay mechanics are woven into the level design. The different parts of Hawk Peak are gated in a way that you don't actually recognize as gating. When you come across a location you can't quite reach, you see it as a puzzle, rather than a sign saying, please stop, complete side quests. As soon as something like this happened, some deep reptile part of my brain locked onto the platforming challenge and embraced it. It sneaks up on you. You don't realize you're playing a platformer until you start channeling that iguana from Planet Earth 2 in order to make it to the top.
No, no, oh, we're good.
Because, as I said, this isn't just an open world adventure, or even a social sim, it's also a platformer. It's actually all three of those things stacked on top of each other, disguised in a trench coat. It's trying to sneak Uncharted 4 platforming challenges into a game whose soundtrack could have been lo-fi hip-hop chill beats to relax or study to. A short hike is an open world puzzle-solving exercise. How can you get over the next hill with the feathers that you have? Maybe you can make it by using an umbrella or jumping off that rock over there. The camera is also perfect for this. The angle is always just wide enough to show you the next challenge, a possible shortcut, or a landmark off in the distance. And when you finally work out how to get over that hill or gather enough feathers, the sense of achievement is very real. Progression isn't represented by a level number or even by golden feathers, because very few parts of the game feel genuinely cut off to you. Your sense of progress comes from something more familiar, finding a good perch and appreciating the view. There's also nothing quite like smoothly gliding over areas of the map that you barely made it over just 20 minutes ago. But even if it takes you a while and you end up wandering, that's okay. That's actually the entire point, as I had to remind myself after manically racing this other bird for 20 minutes. A short hike really is a short hike, and there's no rush to get to the top. It's a wonderful world to get lost in. It's so dense with character and personality that it feels genuinely lived in. This game is practically soul food, and you can't nail it down to just one well-implemented facet of game design. Again, it's the cohesive aesthetic vision that turns the game into something so much more than the sum of its parts. It's the chubby pixel graphics, the Nintendo-y music, the plushy character models. It's the palette and the text message dialogue. My girlfriend was watching this entire game like,
oh, another baby. Oh, can you grab it? Can you throw it? Oh my god.
sure, the characters and quests aren't that deep, but that's almost the point. They fit the environment perfectly. It's a little like the tiny universe inside a snow globe, small but perfectly realized. Perhaps my only criticism of A Short Hike is that the game is so short. And I know how dumb that sounds considering it's literally in the name, but the game is so rich and condensed that when it ends, it's almost abrupt. Like waking up from a dream when you'd rather stayed asleep a while longer. This is partly my own fault. While my girlfriend was raised on Animal Crossing and Cooking Mama and learning actual life skills, I was playing RTS games and Twitch shooters at 2 in the morning. When we play Stardew Valley, she's out watering beans and adopting random chickens, while I'm knee-deep in dead slimes. To the wildlife of that cave, I'm basically Thanos.
I am inevitable.
Every day I wake up and watch that first slime try to fight me like,
I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
So when I got to Hawk Peak Provincial Park and assessed the situation, identified the objective, the game went from this to this. Because the platformer style elements of the game are so fun, and the entire island feels so accessible, it's easy to forget to relax, slow down, and just soak it all in. A Short Hike knows exactly what it wants to be, an escapist hangout delivered beautifully. The only addition that the developer made between its release on Humble and on Steam is the fishing minigame. There's 100 ways the developer could have stretched the gameplay out further, but instead of doing that, they focus on a rich, condensed shot of plushy warmth that leaves you wanting more. Because, sadly, A Short Hike really is a short hike. It's so gorgeous that it's easy to forget that this is mostly the work of just one developer. A Short Hike is exactly what it says in the tin, so take your time and enjoy the view. Hey, we're Kobold Arcade and we make videos about games, game design, and weirder stuff like cyberpunk and the metaverse. So if you want to hear about why the game industry will take over the world, or just check out what we've been playing, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Oh my god. No, I'm done.